Hello, my name's Ekello Herod, and this is Ekello Photo. Well, welcome, y'all. I am very, very happy to be here yet again. It is a Monday, and I am releasing this in a way that hopefully will be on a little bit more of a regular basis. This particular episode is kind of a look around my Lightroom gallery. So, let's take a quick peek, and we're going to start with my favorite subject, my wife. My wife right here is, well, she's just got great curves. I mean, like her cheekbones, the curve of her nose, her chin. She just has these perfect little, just perfect things for when you take a picture, you kind of just point the camera at her and it works out. How did I get this picture? Well, we were at one of these get-togethers with the company that she works for, and it was a beautiful winter night. It was not raining, I don't think. And so her hair looked great, but we couldn't see her hair because all of the lights were so strong in this one specific spot, and there was kind of a spotlight on her, and it just created this perfect natural sort of way to illuminate her face. And so it kind of worked out really well, and I took a picture with my iPhone. It's one of those instances where you try to take advantage of the situation. Now, I'm going to also show you a mistake that was kind of a mistake, but it wasn't. I set up the shot, I had a background, I had lights adequately set up on it, and this gentleman, he worked for this recording studio, and in working for the recording studio, he had to sit around for a little while the day that they were doing some recording session, and I had everything set up, and so I decided to take a picture of him, and it kind of double flashed. It did like a rear curtain flash, which I didn't actually mean to do, and it came up with this. Now, I get it. You're going, what's so cool about that? But let's do a little bit of a zoom in. All right. There's a big old shadow around his head. It's like around his hat and everything, but it isn't inside of his actual silhouette. So it created this almost cool look, All right. And we're going to go away from that one. So I, as you know, have the privilege of going to a lot of comic conventions. I don't go to a ton of them. I like to take pictures of people in costumes. And one of the people in costumes came as the seminal character in The Watchmen, and it was Dr. Manhattan. I just saw the blue, and I knew that I had to do something in Lightroom to pull that blue out. And I'm telling you, I think I'm going to start doing tutorials on Lightroom because it's totally worth it for people to understand what they're getting into. I'm not talking about getting into Premiere or doing a $60 a month thing. I'm talking about a good old-fashioned $10 a month or something like that, with maybe even $20 a month, and you get access to a mobile Lightroom. You get access to it on the Mac and or PC, on the iPad, and it just works. I understand that there are a lot of people who think that there are other programs, but those updates are sometimes suspect, and so I'm just trying to make people a little more excited about what you can do with Lightroom. On to the next one. This right here took a bit of work, more cosplay. It's Superman. And the key to cosplay is to make them look like a hero. And this gentleman, he he did look heroic. Look at that chin and everything about him. But the biggest difference between him and actual Superman was his height. He wasn't actually as tall as one would expect a Superman to be. And so I set my camera up in a way that was beneficial for both him as Superman and me as a photographer. I got a little low and shot up, and he looked absolutely heroic. I've been meaning to do a Get the Shot episode on how I did all of my own pictures for my Ikello the Futurist and Ikello Photo and my own Ikello Herod channel. And I did a bunch of shots of myself, and here is one of them. Now, this particular shot was done with a light behind me, and I used continuous light to do this. I didn't want to futz around with a bunch of flashes in that particular instance because I knew that I could get every bit of the effect that I wanted from continuous light. So I just sculpted the light like I wanted. I put a light behind me. I put a light in front of me. I put a light over my head, over the actual backdrop, so that I could get just a hair of separation where my head is actually up against the black. I tried to sculpt light to give me mystery. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about my boy Ty. Okay. I have a Get the Shot episode that I'm actually working on for him. Oh, man, with all of these projects, especially the longer ones, it's kind of it's a little daunting because Get the Shot episodes are more like little documentary sort of things that I'm trying to build into. And they take a little time. And my travel videos take even more time. And I'm trying to incorporate my own voiceovers and stuff, and I haven't quite gotten there yet. And that's why I'm releasing this episode, because I'm having some problems getting to Hawaii. But let's talk about Ty. He's a professor of African American studies at many places. He's a very, very talented man, has a very good blues voice, plays a mean guitar, but is mostly just damn interesting. He's a very, very cool cat, and I enjoy hanging out with him. And I can't wait to show that episode of Get the Shot. But this particular shot that I took was a bit of a fluke. So in Lightroom, there's this function called dehaze. And I don't know if people really understand what it does. It actually gives you the ability to take the light that you're given and use it to kind of sculpt what's going on. In this shot, you can see that he just looks like a light to the left of him and a light to the right of him, and that he's perfectly illuminated, and that there's something in the back. You know what actually happened? We were in his dining room, and he has a back door, and his back door was open, and he has a curtained front of his room, and the front of the room was just soft enough that it was illuminating him just enough that the light caught across the guitar, across his face, and the stuff in the back was way more intense. And so I used dehaze to bring up all of the deep and richness in kind of the shadow areas so that his natural skin tones could be pulled out. And that's how I got that shot, was to use the natural light in the room. Just kind of, it's hard for me to explain to people lighting technique because I just see it. And then when I mess up with a shot, how to get out of that mess using Lightroom. I can't tell you how many shots. Let me see if I have let me see if I have a shot. Here we go. This shot right here. This is obviously from one of my Get the Shot episodes. and it's of something pointy. And this shot was originally so bad. Here's the shot, right? Now here's what it used to look like. Okay. That's how big of a difference Lightroom can make. I didn't create something from nothing. I had to take the shot in the first place, but that's what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like after. Before, after. Come on. So, I'm going to teach a little bit of Lightroom. I'm going to try and learn this daggone Camtasia. And I'm going to, at first I won't be able to use this cool camera. I'll have to use a different, like a phone or something like that. But at least I'll be able to have a chance to tell people, show people what I do and how I create the art that I create. Anyway, my name is Ikello Herod, and I want you to like and subscribe and tell a friend who is interested in photography about what I do and how I do it, because I want to teach them how to make beautiful pictures, and not just technically make them, but also aesthetically, just from the heart make them, where they can feel what they can see. I just want people to appreciate the art of photography. So I know there's a guy who has a whole channel named The Art of Photography, but it's the truth. I want people to enjoy the art of sculpting photography, from light to actually using models and that sort of thing. I want everyone to love whatever camera that they have in their hand, so that they can create things all the time, so that they can become the best photographer that they can be. My name's Ikello Herod. Love the camera that you're with. You can leave now. No, don't leave. Stuff there, right there. There's lots of, right? There's, or like, there might even be a thing right here now that I realize it. You know, hit this thing, hit those things. That's what you need to do. See you soon.